All right, welcome back to the channel. Y'all already know what's going on. I hate long introductions, so let's go ahead and get into it. I want a message. Ask the universe, entities, the powers that be, God, those who love and care for humankind and who want the best for humankind to move forward. Please give me a message. Give me a message that will help move the collective forward. Oh God, so many messages. Maybe it's just enough. Oh Lord. Ooh. Okay. So what I see is that there's a lot of courage that's going to be needed moving forward. There are a lot of things that are not going to go as planned. We have the strength card, which again it's going to take a lot of courage for some people. Some of the collective, they're going to have to stop trying to ignore and distract themselves from what's going on and actually pay attention to what's happening in the world. Because things are going to go so out of whack. Like, we even have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse of this. Some things are going to go so awry. Like, it's going to be so crazy that if people don't get ahead of it, and it's because of this really immature energy. If people don't go ahead of it, people are going towards a disaster. Humankind is going towards a disaster. There's going to be a time of very unlucky times. I hate that to say that, but it's very unlucky times ahead of humankind, ahead of us, if we choose not to be courageous, if we choose to allow things to keep going this way. Some of us are currently experiencing this right now and have been experiencing it for a couple of years. And because of this energy, especially when it comes to these really immature, intellectually immature energies, very selfish, and like, these people will fight, but it's an intellectual battle. They're strategic, and it is not for the good of mankind, and there's nobody stopping them. But there's going to be a little bit of hope that's coming out of this. There's going to be some type of passion that's going to come out of this. But some people are going to have to recognize the lies that have been told. The lies that have been told to us by those who deem themselves an authority, but when in reality they really are just very immature and selfish people. Oh Lord. Some of y'all out there are going to go through a major depression. This very sad energy. Some of y'all are even going to lose out on romantic partnerships. I typically don't read for romance, but I'm getting the energy that there's going to be some people who are going to lose out on this energy because the people that y'all are with have either been hiding their core values from you because they feel the same way, or you are changing as a person, and you're growing and you're gaining courage and you're moving forward in hopes of a better future. And the better future doesn't involve just you as an individual. This collective has empathy and compassion for the collective, but it seems like somebody or some people may be partnered with people who don't have the same kindness and love and empathy for the world. They're very selfish people, and some of y'all are going to have a decision to make, or some of y'all have already made the decision to leave this person. It's not going to be a very happy two of cups reversed. It's going to be an ending. There's an ending that's coming. But this is what's going to push you forward. Unfortunately, this person does not have the same core values as you. I don't normally read for romance. I promise you, that is not my thing. I read for the collective and the progress of the collective, but this is going to help the progress of the collective. This might even be, this might not be just a romantic relationship. This might be a partnership. You might be partnered with somebody who has very cruel and immature feelings about the world. Cruel and immature feelings about the company that y'all are trying to start together. There's somebody out here who doesn't care about others and is very selfish. And this partnership is not gonna last. You may have to be a whistleblower for some shit, because there's somebody out here who has a very tyrant type of energy. Someone there are some people who just don't care if they hurt people in the process, and there are some people who want to hurt people in the process, and this person wants to hurt people in the process. It makes them feel better as a person. And I know that sounds weird, but some people in this world do get off on hurting others in the world. It makes them feel better. It's almost like when they're able to hurt people, they're able to harvest their energy. They get this feeling of superiority. This feeling of superiority when others are not just losing, but also suffering. Some of y'all are going to have to be wise and not gaslight yourself into not seeing what you just saw. Because some people want to be kind and nice at the expense of themselves and others. And that is something that's going to have to stop if you want to move forward in life, and if you want to move forward with this collective. Someone is definitely going to be left out in the cold, and it's going to cause a major theme of emotional instability or emotional unfulfillment. Somebody's not going to be happy in this situation, and the truth is, even if you do stay in the situation, you won't be happy. Either way, you're not going to be happy, but you're going to have more problems if you go against your own values than if you were to just walk away and allow yourself to be out in the cold for a little bit. Because this church that these people had to leave from, you never know what's going on inside of that. You know, people love abusers and PDF files. You might be out in the cold for a reason. Sometimes you're not invited to the club because you don't do crack, and that's okay. You don't have to do crack, okay? Sometimes you're gonna have to be the outsider, or be outcasted because you don't do crack, baby. Sometimes it is what it is. Sometimes you're not gonna have to be a part of it because you don't accept PDF files and other people do. You don't accept abuse and other people do. You have to be clear about your morals. Because at the end of the day, if you keep giving up parts of yourself for other people, when those people eventually abandon you in ways, what will you have left? Don't give up your core values and the empathy that you have just to fit in with other people. Don't do it. Because you are a part of the collective. If we have more and more people who are allowing themselves to lose themselves just to fit in, we won't have a better society. There are people who are going to have to be courageous and stand up for what's right. I need some more energy on the strength card. Can you give me a card to clarify the strength card? More energy for the strength card. You're gonna have to be courageous, and you're gonna have to call out how you're feeling emotionally unstable in this environment. How this is not emotionally fulfilling for you. Because the King of Cups can also be like this environment that you're in. You're going to have to have courage to not only see this clearly, but to voice this. To be open about it. To be fair with yourself. Could you give me a clarity on the star reversed? In order to avoid this tower, you're going to have to recognize how it's almost like there's this move towards calamity, and if the collective doesn't open their eyes towards it, this unfortunate event, or this it's like the star upright is like this. There's so much hope and potential. Someone's going to have to realize that there is no hope in the way that the world is currently moving, the way that maybe even this partnership is moving. And in doing that, recognizing that is going to help you avoid a bigger tower. The tower is still going to be there. It's still going to be, hard. But if you stick around in this, it is going to be a bigger disaster. A bigger disaster. But people have to be honest about where we're heading. It's not in a good light. I get like this catastrophe. Like, I get this catastrophe energy. Like, there's going to be this this big scary thing. I don't know what it is. It reminds me almost of a natural disaster. Or not even a natural disaster, maybe a man-made disaster that we just claim is a natural disaster. But if people refuse to have courage, if the collective refuses to have courage and talk about the things that are emotionally unfulfilling, and if we don't talk about who the people are who are actually in charge of that, and let me give you a hint, it's not the poor people. I promise you that one. The poor people aren't the ones who are not paying you a livable wage. That's not the people who are doing that. The poor people aren't the ones avoiding taxes. The poor people aren't the one hiring people in other countries for a smaller fucking wage so that they don't have to pay you. That's not what the poor people are doing. So you need to figure out who the people are. The people who are doing that are the people that you praise. The people who are strategic. These people who are on a throne where people are at their feet licking their boots. Those are the people that are in charge. Those are the people that you need to look at. These people who have such an immature, they only think with their brains. They don't think with their hearts. They don't care about others. And I promise you, they don't care about you. People have grown too comfortable listening to those people. Can you give me some clarity cards on the Knight of Swords reverse for me, please? Some clarity card on the Knight of Swords in reverse. These people are seeing their coin come through. They're not worried about you. They're reaping all the rewards of other people's work. They're happy. They're good. They're content. And they're content to keep thinking this way. There is some person out there, there are some collectives out there who are actually doing good under this system because they listen to these people. But it is a short-lived thing. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse is coming. It's coming for that ass. It's coming for that ass. It is coming for these people. These people who think in very immature ways and who don't care about others. Could you give me a clarity card on the Wheel of Fortune in reverse? Judgment is here. Judgment and distraction. There are people out here who are like, they're waiting for their ships to come in. This is where we are. These people who have actually listened and followed these people who are very immature in their thoughts when it comes to the collective. They are reaping the rewards of their benefits for. They were going to reap it, and they have been reaping it for some time. But it's coming to a close. People are going to be sitting out there waiting for their ships to come in, and it's not going to come in because there is a judgment call. And it's because you allowed these people to hijack your mind and make you less empathetic to the people around you. Money. That's on here. Money. Like, that's the only thing people are caring about. And there's going to be a time of misfortune. There's a judgment call that's happening, and there's going to be a time of misfortune for those who have chosen this path. Not even for those who have chosen this path, because others are going to suffer because of it. And a lot of people are going to have to deal with the fact that the choices that you make are not just choices that affect you. They are choices that affect the collective, that affect everybody. Some people have been tricked into believing something and have had a small benefit from it. And when they're waiting for their ships to come in, it's not going to come in. And it's because there's a judgment call. It's a time of misfortune and a judgment call. And it's not just going to be on the people who have chose this. It's going to be on the most vulnerable. You're going to look at your life and you're going to be like, yeah, I did this thing and moved in such an unempathetic way that children are starving. Unfortunately, we live in a world where our decisions just don't affect us. It affects others. Can you live with that? Can you live with that for yourself? If you need for bad things to happen to you for you to get it, maybe this is just not the reading for you, because I'm speaking to a collective that actually cares about others. If you see poverty and you don't feel anything about it, how well have these Knight of Swords in reverse convinced you that only your happiness matters? That the people who are in those predicaments, they're there because they can't get it right. Because somehow they're morally wrong. When that's not how it's set up. It's just these people have set the system up that way. They're very strategic people. The Knight of Swords in reverse. They're very strategic people, and they're very tyrannical. They're very tyrant type of energies. So if you haven't figured out that those things are set up that way on purpose, this might be your time to figure it out. Because unless you're actually in their golf clubs, you're going to be next. You're going to be next. We're coming towards a time where no longer those at the bottom are going to be able to reap the rewards that they were able to before. It's almost like there's a narrowing down. It's getting smaller and smaller. It's bigger at the top, but it's getting smaller and smaller where people aren't going to be able to go through that. The Six of Pentacles in reverse. See, the system that we're in currently, there's going to be some hope about people not putting into that system, because it is a system that doesn't give back. There's no equal give and take in this system. And I know this sounds weird, but the more people that you talk to about this, the more that y'all collectively get together and have these conversations with others, it's almost like you have, like, either you or somebody that you know has this energy of hope, even though things are shitty, even though there's no equal give and take, there's a message of hope. And that is what you need to go around talking to people about. Oh, you hate the system too? I'm so tired of not being able to get paid, a livable wage. And like, I never have made 3 times the rent. That y'all, this is the thing that y'all gonna have to get together and have these conversations about. And this is what's gonna give y'all hope, because you're gonna be around more people who feel the same way. But it's not even just about feeling hope, it's about action. And that is what what wands are about. They're about action. Not only will you talk about these things, but you will form a group where you can actually do something about this selfish energy of not giving back. There is no equal take in that. Could you give me some clarity cards on the Ace of Swords, please? Give me some clarity about the Ace of Swords. Moving forward from this incorrect information is going to give emotional stability. Someone is going to understand that the things that we have been taught to value as an individualism, and of course the words that people use is not individualism. No, what they use is capitalism. What they use is boss culture, boss girl culture, girl boss culture. That's what they use. They try to make you feel good so that you can put into a system that's rarely going to give back to you, or so that they can pull the ladder up so that you and the other people who are working on it won't be able to receive. Even though you're putting your all into it, even though you're giving your all, you're not going to receive. And that is this lie that has been told to the collective is going to have to be put down. Once you put this lie down from those above you, this authority, these emperor type energies, once you put that energy down, you're going to be able to move forward, and it's going to give you more emotional fulfillment, because you're going to ask yourself, well, why you're putting in a system that's not giving back to you? Why are you paying taxes to a system in a system where all they're going to do is send that money overseas so that they can bomb and kill children, or so that you can't get universal health care, but that other country can get universal health care? That's where your taxes are going. Your taxes are going to people who sit in the government and do nothing to help you. They're sitting on their thrones. They're building bunkers. They're going to make sure that they're going to be okay once they have destroyed the world. They're going to make sure they're going to be okay. But what will you and your family have? What will you and your family have? Can you give me some information about the Three of Swords? Give me some information about the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords. The Three of Swords. The Three of Swords. Okay. Yep. There's going to continue to be heartache and feeling of backstabbing energy if people keep fighting just to fight. There are some people out there who have this knowledge about how the world is and are trying to move towards a better place, but there are some people who are just fighting just to fight because they want to win a battle, an argument. You're fighting your peers. Look at these people. You're fighting your peers. Instead of punching up, these people are fighting people who want the best for them. Someone's going to have to learn to put that down and have some patience. Because someone who is very impatient, because what we've taught in our system feels like it's more immediate gratification than working in a different way. And the truth is, it's not even true. A lot of people just feel that way. You put 5+ years into a degree, and what do you get back? A massive amount of student loan debt and no job for you, because the corporations they got together and decided that they were going to make mass suffering. But you have to be patient with this new ideology. You have to be patient with walking away from this type of society. And I don't mean just leaving. I mean walking away and building new systems for people. There are others out there who want to build a new system. And it's going to take, this card came out, it's going to take this, stop being defensive. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take non-defensive energy. There are some people out here who are so rooted in what we've been taught growing up by these people who don't give a shit about anybody, that some people are willing to fight and be defensive. You're defending a system that doesn't give a shit about you. You're defending a system that will never give you a good equal and take or a better life. You're defending a system, and seeing that for what it is going to help people move forward. Could you give me the Lovers in reverse? Can you give me some clarity on the Lovers in the Lovers in reverse? The Lovers in reverse. The Lovers in reverse. The Lovers in reverse. All right. So there is somebody. There's somebody who's going to be walking away from a relationship, and it's going to help them become more stable within themselves. But somebody's going to be walking away from a relationship, and it's going to cause a lot of distress. It's going to be very sad. But you're going to be walking away to be better. You're going to be walking away towards stability. Somebody, it's going to cause them depression, and this is the choice that has to be made. There's a choice that's going to have to be made. It's going to cause a lot of grief, a lot of sadness. But if you choose yourself, because the partnership is ending whether you like it or not, whether this is the thought, the partnership with capitalism, walking away from that, a partnership with a company, a partnership with someone who has those old belief systems that you're not going to benefit from, it's going to help you become more stable when you see things clearly. But you're going to have to allow yourself to grieve and not cling on to this thing that's ending, this partnership that's ending. Because we do have a partnership between the people and the government. There is a partnership, but it's coming to an end. And it's because these people who have a tyrant type energy, people who don't give a fuck about nobody else, who want poverty, who want unhappiness for others. Can you give me some more clarity cards for the Two of Cups in reverse? Clarify the Two of Cups in reverse for me. Clarify the Two of Cups in reverse. Remember, there's also a group of y'all who have a partner who believes in this stuff that you're just going to have to walk away from, because they're just not an empathetic person, and you are. You actually care, they don't. The Two of Cups in reverse. There's something ending, and this is going to allow someone to let go of this fear, because this group of people is being influenced by someone who is so used to the system and is so brainwashed that when you come up with like new ideas, or when you come up with like a better plan, or when you talk about how you wish there was a better way, this person, like, they put fear in you. They put fear in you. They make it seem like if the world wasn't this way, it'll be chaotic and everybody would be killing each other. And that's not true. Because back in the day, before all of this, people didn't do that. People didn't do that. We kill each other now. They had societies where people could live collectively and help each other and care for each other. They had those societies. The only societies that were doing a bunch of killing usually was the ones that was very selfish and wanted to take things for themselves. Those were the societies going around causing all this damage and all this chaos. People who wanted to conquer. People who wanted to dominate others. And they try to convince you that if we didn't live in the world that we live in today, we'd have nothing. And that's not true. And you're going to be coming out of this energy once you grieve and let go of this partnership with someone. Again, this might not be a romantic relationship, but there's some type of partnership, and someone tells you, well, if it's not this way, we want everybody to just walk around and do this, or there won't be any People won't be passionate. Nothing would get done if we didn't have this system. And that's not true. That's not true. Literally, people be writing fanfic for no money. People have passion. People are passionate about things, and they'll do it simply because they're passionate about it. Again, it's not even just men. It's not there also might be a feminine energy who has this same type of tyrant type of energy. The same type of or this might be two people that you know. Again, this might also be the collective energy of those who are very selfish and they want to be on top at all costs. They don't care about others. They don't have empathies for others. And this is the energy that you're walking away from, or this is the energy that is controlling the rest of, they're controlling the board. There's a game and they're controlling the pieces on the board. And then they just change the rules and tell you that, oh no, this is legal, or I can do what I want because I'm in this position. But the thing about it is these people you might be left out of the cold. You might be packing your shit up and leaving this energy behind. You may not eat again. What I said before about, maybe you're not invited to the club because you don't do crack, but you have all the stuff that you need. Maybe you're not invited to the club because the PDF files, you're not okay with that. And that's okay because you have everything you need. You have everything you need. And when I say that doesn't mean just you're going to be by yourself. There are other people who feel the same way that you do. There are other people who feel the same way as you do. Look, this person's not by themselves. They are not by themselves. When they're out in the cold, they're with somebody else. There are others like you who they couldn't seek refuge because this was a corrupt situation. They had to leave. Because what good church turns away good people? What good church turns away people that are caring and loving and want the best for others? You tell me that. 10 of Cups reversed. Could you give me some more energy for the 10 of Cups reversed? I think a lot of people are going to have to realize that they are being backstabbed. They are being betrayed actively by the same people that they're putting all the energy in. There's chaos. There's chaos and emotional unfulfillment. And it has to deal with people who are very immature. Very immature type of people. They don't have a message of truth. They have a message of bullshit, a message of selfishness. Are they able to put a plan together? Yes, they are. But it really isn't about their intellect. It's about the type of power that they have. If you notice, a lot of people who are charismatic, they may not even be that smart. They're just charismatic and people want to follow them. They don't have an actual good plan for everybody else. It's really fuck you and I'm going to be good. That's really how they feel. And this is going to hurt a lot of people. Finding the truth about this is going to hurt a lot of people. Because these people are actively backstabbing people and causing emotional unrest. All right. So is there anything else you want to say to the collective before we close this out? Anything else you want to say to the collective before we close this out? Anything else you want to say to the collective? Okay. Before we close this out. Okay. Leave it like that. Okay. All right. So there is going to be a message. Something's going to happen very quickly. There's going to be a lot of fighting. And you have to remember who you are fighting. Do you want to fight your peers? Look at these people. These people even have masks on. Do you want to fight your peers? Or do you want to fight those who are, There's some people out here who are going to have to fight the good fight. I'm just saying. You know what's going on in your area, and you're going to have to fight the good fight. But you have to remember, the fight is really about those who are manipulating these people. Not to say that you shouldn't be fighting to protect your community. Fight to protect your community. You need to fight to protect your community any way necessary. And there's going to be happiness that's coming out of it. You're going to get the happiness that you want, the victory that you want. The sun will shine again. And it's going to feel like a burden. It's going to feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. And it is. But with other people, if you have others beside you, if you're not isolating yourself from your communities and not fighting with those who also want the better for mankind, the people who actually want better for mankind, not for people to stay the same, not for things to not get worse, but for people who want the best for mankind and want progress, not stagnation, progress, want to move things forward. If you're not fighting with those people, you have other people to help you carry these. You won't be carrying it alone, and this is going to require transformation. People are going to have to transform and change. This is a time of transformation. There's going to be such chaos with this star card in reverse and this tower in reverse. There's going to be such chaos that is going to push you to change. People will pass away. People are dying all the time. But it's going to get a little crazy. And people are going to have to band together. This is going to bring in healing. Some people are going to have to get active in their community and help those who are in need and give to those who are in need. Emotionally, be there. Be present. Because so many people are distracting themselves. And this is the decision that's going to have to be made. You're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to use not just your emotions, but your intellect. These are two things that you're going to have to use. Your intellect and your emotions. Not separate. Having emotions is not having emotions does not make you better. It's not going to push you further. You need both of these. And you need to be not afraid to see what's hidden. The moon. You're going to have to be brave. The strength card from earlier. And this is going to help you move forward. This is the environment that you want to embody. An environment of creativity. An environment of passion. This is what's going to come out of it. And you're going to be able to get the abundance that you want, just like all the other people. Because your abundance isn't going to be individual. It's not going to be tied to the individual. It's going to be tied to the collective. You're going to be able to have your abundance. But you're going to have to look at the world differently. You're going to have to be brave. Courageous, and fight the good fight instead of trying to distract yourself. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end it right now. I hope you all have a good day, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. I will see you in the next one.